undermine those long-term goals. The data that we used to formulate our action plan, recommendations for changing the organization, came from three sources. Work satisfaction questionnaires. That was an anonymous response to a series of questions. Personal interviews, which addressed tasks and people relationships in the organization. And naturalistic observation, which was merely observing the organization at work unobtrusively to see how people operated in their natural environment.
As planning progressed, the design team began to consider the specific changes it would recommend. During this phase, communications with the rest of the purchasing group was given high priority.
The way we initially designed the process here was to ensure that we had a number of different feedback mechanisms available to the organization so that they could participate in the study and help direct the study toward its ultimate end. We took extreme care in making sure that everyone had the opportunity to tell us when they felt something was wrong or we were not getting certain messages, and we established a number of different methods for people to do that.
Throughout the planning phase, the design team was encouraged in its efforts by the knowledge that their purchasing group was a healthy organization, doing a good job already, but anxious to improve performance if the team could find a way.
Security, I think, came from the knowledge that when this effort was over and we were more productive, we would be more valuable to the corporation. And I think that went a long way toward reducing the fear that there would be forced attrition and the elimination of certain jobs.
Not all the team's recommendations were related to technology. Besides terminals for all users and information management software, the team also recommended an improved system for rewarding performance and additional emphasis on career path planning.
We recently made our series of recommendations to our Vice President's staff. The recommendations were met with a good reception. We are presently at the implementation stage, and my new role is to make sure that all of the detail that is necessary to get the recommendations in place is accomplished.
The best planned system is of little value if not carefully installed and tuned to the needs of its users. At Pfizer Incorporated, an electronic mail system was piloted with users from a variety of corporate roles. Users with an established need to communicate with each other. The object of the installation was to gain experience with the technology and to assess the potential for company-wide gains in productivity. Planners studied the pilot from several points of view. How did users' corporate roles affect their use of electronic mail? How did users prefer to access the system? In what ways was their previous experience with technology a factor? How did electronic mail contribute to their productivity?
I think the key to any pilot implementation is diversity. It is important because when it comes time to expand a pilot, you want to be able to address all the issues, all the different factions that may occur within any large organization.
In Pfizer's experience, support was a critical factor in the successful implementation of the pilot.
You have to provide the necessary educational and training support to make sure that when the users come on board, they can do so effectively. The second area in terms of support is implementation. You have to, again, provide the necessary resources to ensure that the pilot is implemented successfully, and by that I mean the hardware and the software. The third is that of help. You have to be able to provide some means by which users can seek aid when they have a problem.
Support is a major consideration in the implementation of office systems, and success or failure may well turn on this critical issue.
Nervous? Me? No. I've learned a lot about computers in the past 2 years. Well, from word processing to records management. Besides, computer graphics sounds like fun. Now, if only they'd hold the training sessions by the pool. Right. Our vice president's big on efficiency. He's always pushing the latest in office technology. All the managers have terminals. Well, for electronic mail, reports, spreadsheet analysis, that sort of thing. Although, come to think of it, I hardly ever see my boss use his. Say, did I tell you I got a new car last week? Oh, it's wonderful. A Jaguar.
No, actually, I haven't seen those projections yet. These long reports can take forever when the system is busy.
Bill Hendricks had the numbers nearly done last I knew. Let's check and see what he has ready for us.
Right. Tell you what. You try Bill. I'll get some coffee.
None for me, thanks.
Boy, if those projections are as bad as I think they are, I'm in trouble.
Ah, we're in luck. Bill's at his terminal.
Yeah, of course Bill's at his terminal. That's all he ever does.
He says he sent you mail. Summaries of those projections 2 days ago.
Yeah, well, I've been pretty busy. There are only so many hours in the day. Christine, will you check my mail? Make a couple of copies of that summary from Bill Hendricks. Right away?
No problem. Why do I have to make copies? He can read that report right off his terminal.
2 days? What's the point of electronic mail if he's not going to use it?
He has 207 messages waiting. 206 from Bill Hendricks, I'll bet.
Well, this is discouraging, to say the least. Still, we're going to have to salvage this quarter somehow.
Right.
Check Bill's directory for the full report, and copy it into your files. We'll want to see all the details. And let's look at the projections of the other departments. Might as well see how we compare. Somebody hasn't done his homework. I wonder how many of our other managers don't use their terminals. All right, hit the return key and let's get back to the main menu. The system will prompt us from there.
Somebody hasn't done his homework. Clearly somebody hasn't done his homework. Things are going rather badly in this automated office. But who hasn't done his homework? I think the senior manager meant the guy who's in trouble hasn't done his homework. This man who's late in reading his mail. But that may not be the whole answer. It may be that the people who should be supporting this manager haven't done their homework. And in fact, it may be difficult for him to read his mail. The system may be poorly designed. There may be any number of reasons.
My feeling is that this scenario points up the critical need for user support after installation and implementation of the system. You have to keep coming back to users, asking them how they're getting on with the system, finding out what they know how to do and what they don't know how to do, and helping optimize that system for their own particular requirements.
What I would like us to remember from this example is that the real purpose of office automation, or I'd rather call it office technology, is to make people more valuable. Not necessarily more efficient, but more valuable to the organization they work for. And clearly, it didn't happen for this guy. And in fact, he is making the organization less effective because he's not working with the system that everyone else is using. So something is wrong here if he's not being made more valuable, and if in fact he's hurting the organization's ability to be effective.
I think the scenario, though, also points out one of the key fears that people have about office automation tools, which is, what if our managers won't use it? How do we know that these people will actually sit down at a keyboard? What if our multi-million-dollar investment is just blown because the right people won't take advantage of the system?
Yes, it's a big problem. Any new system has to work in concert with the old one so that the people who won't use it can still communicate with the people who are using it.
Yeah, I think it's an important point that people should be given options. That managers, for example, such as the one in this scenario, might prefer to work through their secretaries to get their mail and have the secretaries sort the mail, even if it comes in electronically, print it out and put it on their desk in a prioritized order in the way that they're used to working. I think over time that kind of manager will become involved in using the system because of some of the benefits that we've talked about before. The fact that they're not in the loop if they don't get the information about the meeting that's to be held in the next half hour, they'll find themselves in an embarrassing situation.
I think I agree with John that people do resist bad technology. I don't think that we should think of this guy as resisting change as such. Maybe he's resisting something else. But if there's something valuable enough inside the keyboard, most managers will go ahead and
Exactly.
take the trouble.
We've tried to understand who uses these systems directly and who uses it through their secretaries. It's people who see a value in the system, who will answer the question, yes, I think it's valuable. And that's the secret to a successful implementation, is to show people how they can benefit personally from using this system.
The role of office automation is to give users access to information, to give them tools to manipulate that information, and to teach them how to use those tools effectively. And I think it's that last part that we often forget in designing and implementing office system strategy.
The best evidence we have on productivity, that is controlled before and after studies, suggests that we're looking at 25 to 50% improvements in people's performance ability. That means that we're freeing up anywhere from a day a week to half a week of people's time. And I think the real challenge for management as they look at this possibility is not going to be, boy, can I use this to save costs, but how can I use the extra capacity, the extra talent that I'm creating for my people with this technology. I don't know of anyone who's really thought that one through, but I think that's the next thing we face.
Office automation, improving the way we do business, improving the business we do. Implementation, making office technology work. Success depends on the involvement of users, thorough planning, careful installation, and continuous support.
Office automation means technology for improving your business, but there's a lot more to it than just the technology.
Implementation starts with understanding your business. That way you know what you're automating.
Everything has to be integrated. Technology, management, the requirements of the business.
Implementing office automation means more than just installing technology. It's using all our resources to make business and the people who do business more productive.